Hey traders, John Howell here. We're going to be going over all the markets today to get ready for the short week that's actually coming up, and a few other things that I really want to share with you. There's actually a lot of things that's really going on right now. The mining sector, the crypto market, and stuff like that. So I got a lot of stuff that I want to share with you. So let's go straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so let's get straight into it. Traders, make sure you grab access to that free trading course. For the last couple of weeks, I've been, as an end of year gift, I've been giving away free membership access to that trading course. Also guys, when you get free access to that, I've just recently opened up my private inner circle coaching program. And so I'm going to be running a webinar to that. So when you register for the free trading course, you also get access to the webinar as well too. And also I'm also running a 70% off sale to my coaching program as well too. So if that's interesting for you guys, go get access to the free trading course. You get free trading course either way. And then also get access to a webinar where I'll be talking about my trading system, my coaching program and stuff like that, and that may or may not be for you but the coaching program's for 12 months. It's a 12-month commitment, so I'm going to be with you for 12 months. If you need that help, if you really do need help and you really do need 2023 to be a really good year for you, and you need some hand holding for the next 12 months, then I'm your guy. I'll definitely sort you out. So let's go have a look at these through here. So let's actually start off with the S&P 500. We can see that we're actually going through here, right? So on the S&P 500, we can see that we've actually had a bit of a downward move through here. We were starting to slowly go up through here, but we flattened out, and now we've actually come back down, and now we're flattening out again here. The really big interesting thing that I'm noticing here, you'll notice when I start to bring up my short-term moving averages. So let's bring up this moving average here, which is my 20 moving average, and you'll start to notice something. Notice how the moving average is really a good sort of short-term trending indicator, right? You can see when it's above it, we generally are trending up. If we're below it, we're actually starting to trend down. You see above it, and then now we're below it again right now, and now we're just sort of going sideways through here. So what's probably likely going to happen moving into this week here is we're probably likely to start to see something like this, I would say. So something like this, maybe a bit of a sideways movement. And then we start to see this moving average come down through there. And then we might start to see something like that, and then a move on the downside. You can see we've actually gone up, come back down, gone up, and then we're probably going to come back down and do something like that on a continuation basis. So they're the big things. That's the big thing I'm watching for when it comes to the S&P 500. If I go look at the actual Nasdaq as well too, the Nasdaq is the weakest one out of the whole lot of them. And once again, you can see the Nasdaq is the same sort of thing, right? You can see that the 20, this is just a simple 20, just a simple 20 moving average on a daily chart, guys. Nothing special about it. This is actually I use the 20 moving average for what I call my short-term trades. And I also use a 52 moving average for more of a longer-term trade. So I'm going to hold on for more profits. Again, if you want to know, you actually want to learn my trading system, I'm running a webinar today, guys, where you'll be able to learn all the details to my trading system. Again, link in the description, guys. When you get access to the free trading course, I'll also give you access to the webinar where I'll teach you my trading system for free, and you'll be able to see how I use the moving average with that. And then also you can get access to my coaching program for 70% off for the next 12 months if you show inclined. But if not, well, at least just go get the free trading course, guys, to give you guys some help for 2023. So we can see here, right? We can see notice how that the market is the 20 moving average really does respond quite well to when we're here. It didn't do too much here, but now we're well below it. So what's probably likely to happen now is we're almost at these all-time new lows through here. So what's probably likely going to happen is we're probably going to do something like this, and we're probably going to get the moving average coming down, and then we're probably going to start to break down and start to see a movement on the downside out of the whole lot, because this whole thing is very weak. When I'm looking at the markets, I'm looking at the markets from what I've just shared with you this set, but I like to look at the markets from an overall picture. And what I mean by that is this: I like to look at the waves. Okay, so we look at this here. So we had a wave up, a wave down, a wave up, and now we're starting a wave down, aren't we? So see how this is the overall picture. The major low, major highs, not these small ones, the major lows, major highs. So level one is sort of what I just walked you through there. This is just what I'm doing when it comes to my chart reading techniques. Again, guys, I spend a good probably close to 2-3 hours just walking you through chart reading techniques in that trading course, the free trading course. So the reason why I'm looking at this is this, right? Because I'm looking at where are the strength in the markets, right? Because if we're in a downward trend like we are, if we're in a downward trend, we do this and then we do something like that. See how we had a very strong move down, but a very strong move up. So I'm just like, I'm not too quite sure. Yes, we are in a downtrend, but this upward leg is very, very, very strong, right? Now, what I mean by strong is like, that's see how that's strong? It's the buys came in very strong, and this would be sort of weak. This, looking at this sort of the overall move here, makes sense? So then when we do that, but then if we go down again, and then if we do something like that, look at this here. Notice how that last move up was like that, but this last move was like this, right? Now, what does that actually mean? It means that the last time the buyers are actually coming in strong, even if it was a pullback in an overall bear market, but now we came down. Look how, see, the buyers did this last time, didn't they? But what are they doing? They're doing this now. What does that mean? That means that the buyers are very, very, very weak. And so therefore, if the buyers don't start taking control really quickly, the sellers, this leg here, the sellers are going to gain control again and probably knock it back down. And that's exactly what I'm looking at here when it comes to these markets, right? And so if I use that exact same analysis I just walked you through, I see we actually had a very strong move up, then we had this move here, and then we had this overall, see that there? That was the move up there. This is the move here. I'm going advanced on you here, guys. Again, if you guys want to like really get your trading sorted, guys, I'm your man. I can really, really, really help you with your trading. And notice I'm not using indicators here, right? Stochastics. I'm using 20 moving average, yeah, but actually with this technique I'm teaching right now, I'm not even using the moving average. I'm just looking at the markets. The thing about when it comes to the technical indicators, guys, the RSI and the stochastics and so on and so forth, they're a derivative from the main thing, right? All of it's a derivative from the main thing. The only thing that is true right now is volume. That's the reason why I like to use volume, right? So because it's true about what's actually happening today, where other things such as stochastics, RSI, so on and so forth, they can be lagging, and they're also they're a mathematical calculation from what the market is doing. And so therefore, I was very, very grateful that I got access to a mentor of mine, or mentors, over my last almost 19 years now trading the markets, and they really taught me the art of understanding what the market is telling me, not what the indicators are telling me. Because if we can start to understand stuff like I'm teaching you now when it comes to the strength in the actual move, whether it's weak or not, but what does that actually mean? We can start to preempt this through here. And you'll probably notice that exact same analysis I just gave you there. If you were watching my videos over the last month throughout December, you would know I was talking about that as the Nasdaq was going up here. So this move down here was expected. I just didn't know when it was going to start, but I was saying we're probably going to get ready for a move down. Now we're getting in the move down. It's probably likely to be the start of something much, much, much bigger. And once again, if we get a bit of a bounce here, as you can see, and if we do get a bit of a bounce, you can see this support level here. Once we do break that level there, the Nasdaq could see a 7,000. So it could be quite an ugly start for the Nasdaq as well too. So the big thing I'm watching for the Nasdaq once again is once we start to see the moving average start to come down through there, right? And then we see something like that, and then we just see something like that. Then it's game over for the Nasdaq, and we're probably going to get absolutely just thumped in the Nasdaq. So they're the big things I'm watching for when it comes to. Let me bring up this chart here now. By the way, guys, most of the time when I'm trading, like 90% of the time when I'm trading, I'm just looking at a chart like this. That's all I'm looking at. What am I using? I'm using just a simple. You really don't, guys. Okay, you really don't need to have a lot on the screen, because the market is the main thing we need to really look at. The indicators, once again, guys, they can be so confusing, and you probably know yourself, right? And the reason I'm talking about the indicators again is because I know a lot of people, especially if you've been involved with the markets for a few years or more, you're probably using a lot of indicators right now, trying to get a sense of certainty when the really good time to enter the market is, right? But that can also lead to confusion, and then it sends you down the wrong way, and then you do your head in and so on and so forth, right? So Again, guys, I'll teach you my trading system with that link in the description there. So that's what I'm looking at through there. So let's go have a look at some of the other things. So let's go have a look at the gold market. And gold market is actually starting to move up through here, but we're starting to really struggle through here. So notice how we actually had this move up here, but notice how we're starting to struggle all through here. We actually that's actually off. So you can see how we actually had this up move here, and then we had this up move here. Notice how see how it's overall flattening out there. That's actually not a really good sign for the bulls, right? Short term, this is the short term analysis, because short term we're starting to overall change. So I wouldn't be too surprised now to see at least a bit of a short term pullback out of gold, something like that, and then that'll be like the bit of a mock charge, I believe, to see then a rally back up to all-time new highs when it comes to gold. Because if I look at gold on that big picture, and this is something, if you've been watching me now for the last few months, you know I've been calling this absolutely spot on when it comes to gold. When gold was down here, I started saying this is probably going to be a false breakout and we're getting a move back up. Once we got a move back up, I started calling for a move back to all-time new highs, and that's what I'm still calling right now. So we're probably going to get a bit of a pullback here. Just let the market, what I call, let the market reset a little bit. So a bit of a pullback, and then we're probably going to see a move back. Then we're probably going to see a move up to new highs in gold. Now the really interesting thing about this is that if gold does do that, if we do get to what I see as my target number one, which is up here, because of the pattern generally, when we get a false breakout of a channel, you can see the channel here and there. When we get this false breakout, but if we broke out, it's a false breakout, and we get back in, generally what happens is that we run to the other side of the channel. That's the reason why I'm saying that's my target there. But the interesting thing is, when that happens, then this is what generally happens with these patterns here, right? So we generally see a move, we generally get a pullback, a move up, and then we might get a bit of a pullback, and then we actually break out. Once we actually break out, then we can use, and this is actually pretty powerful here, then we use this resistance here, and overall this support level through here, okay? And so we use all of that, and then we use that as a projection of where the market is likely to go when it comes to, obviously, now gold, right? So the overall target for me when it comes to gold, using the ultimate target, the first target is what I just shared with you, which is the other side of the channel, which is that $2,050 level. But the ultimate target is you project it from the high down to the low of the channel, and then you project that out, right? And then we actually come down through here. So therefore, that projection for this here says that gold should be making its way back up to probably around about that 2,500 level, based off this pattern here, moving forward. So gold is looking really, really, really bullish through here. And the really big thing about gold, guys, is I know a lot of people for the last couple of years have been hating on gold so much, right? They've just been hating on gold. It's always been about the crypto market, and you know, and they use the analogy, right? It's like all the analogies when it comes to the crypto market, when it comes to the cryptos versus gold, is like last year people saying, yeah, but what's gold done? Gold's done nothing, right? What's the crypto market done? Oh, 600% return. Those exact same people, where it looks like cryptos, especially Bitcoin, is probably going to head back down to where it back down to probably that 8,000 to 10,000 level, and I'll get to that in just a minute. The interesting thing about people that invested in gold and didn't jump at the hypermania, look where gold is actually at. Gold is actually not that far from its all-time new highs. And if gold is going to start to make its way through the next few months or more of exactly what I just walked you through just then, and we start to see an ultimate target of where? 2,500. When that happens and crypto is still at its pretty much near its lows, you know, who's laughing now? Now again, guys, I'm not, and the one thing about in these markets, I'm not a lover of any of these markets. Like, it's not like I love gold, right? Oh, I'm in love with it. Let's get married, right? And you know, there's, oh, I love the mining sector. Oh, well, let's get married. No, right? Oh, I love stocks. No, like, oh, no, right? I like to trade well, so I have a trading system. But also when it comes to my investing positions where I'm holding for many years or more, I like to just put my money where it is much better to actually put my money. And the rule of the thing is, when people are greedy, be fearful. When people are fearful, be greedy, right? We all know that. We all know that saying. But what do people do? When people are greedy, they get more greedy, right? And then then they become fearful. And so the whole purpose of that, guys, is that when it comes to, here or there, is that for me, most people for the last 12 months or a couple of years have just left gold alone. They've forgotten about gold. Gold's been this worthless piece of crap, basically, and the crypto's been the thing. That's why for me, when it comes to that, especially the mining sector, has been really, really, really big for me. And I believe that those sort of places there, when it comes to gold, but also when it comes to the mining stocks, this is the mining stocks through here, right? And if again, for you guys that have been probably involved with the markets more than 10 years and you're watching my stuff here, you know exactly what I'm talking about here, right? It's just common sense. When they remove the emotion of decentralized and the blockchain and the emotion behind why you're investing in the cryptocurrencies, okay? I like to make money. I like to be in positions to where we haven't actually had a big move yet, right? We want to be in before the big move, not when the big move has happened and now it's busting. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get into something that's already had a big move up and a big move down. When do you want to get into it? You want to get in before it actually has its mania, right? Before it has a big move. And so, and we know everything goes in cycles. That's where, like, guys, for the last probably couple of years, I've been harping on so big, especially about the mining sector, especially about, like, my baby is the GDXJ, right? And now I'm going to be investing in different mining companies myself. And so I don't know which ones they are right now, but probably, like, I think there's one of the companies I'm looking at right now is actually BHP, right? BHP, especially like here in Australia, I think they're giving like a 10% dividend right now, and they're a mining company. So I'm probably looking at them, but most of my investing has been done in the silver, into gold, and then majority of the concentrated is based on the GDXJ, because it's obviously for all the junior miner stocks, right? So, but looking at the chart itself on the GDXJ and the cycles, is that what happens with these markets, right? We go through what? We go through cycles. The market has a big boom, as we know, it did actually happen through here. We had a big boom into 2010, and then we had the crash, and then we had the flattening out. Guess what's coming next? A big boom. It's like, it's coming, guys. The big thing here is, like, I am going to make I'm going to be making millions and millions and millions of dollars from the GDXJ, all right? And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. That is the question. I don't know when, right? I don't know when that is going to pop. What I do believe is what I've actually drawn on this screen here. I've drawn this line here at 2030. I believe by 2030, we're going to be seeing at least an all-time new high when it comes to the GDXJ. By 2030, that means by 2025, it could happen. 2027, it could happen. Like, we could, who knows when we're going to start to see the mania kick into this market, right? But all that matters is this, is that getting wealthy in these markets is a matter of positioning yourself and then allowing time to unfold. So when that does happen, it's not a matter of if, but when. We are going to go through another mining boom, guys. This is so simple. Forget the cryptocurrencies. The minings have crashed and they've done nothing for 10 years. What's coming next? Right? Simple cycle analysis. We're going to go through another mining boom. It's not like, no more mining boom for the rest of our life. And look how low we are right now. Right? Even if you bought it here right now at 36 and it went down to 20, but then you're just like, it's still. And again, guys, I can't tell you what to do, right? I'm just telling you, like, it's just so glaring, obviously, the reason why I'm so concentrated into the mining sector right now, because I see really big moves. Again, I just don't know when, but it can go down 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% from here, right? It can go down to 10, or it can go down to 20, it can go down to $10. Like, I don't know. We still can go down there. I don't really care about that, right? What I do know, and what I'm very confident of, is that we are going to go through another mining boom, right? And especially for the last 10 years, the mining sector has been absolutely just nothing for the last 10 years. It's so glaringly obvious what are going to be the winners for the next 10 years. And it's just, again, simple cycle analysis, right? Keep it really simple. What has done really good in the last 10 years is probably not going to be doing as good for the next 10 years. What has been destroyed and hasn't done good, and most people don't like it because it hasn't been doing well and it's not in people's mind. What hasn't been doing good for the last 10 years is probably going to do good for the next 10 years. See what I'm saying there? So that's the reason why, like, the metals and miners are the favors for this next 10 years. The start of this decade was the little boom and bust with cryptos there, right? But for me, I've always been saying that if you want to buy something, just buy gold. And look where gold is, right? Gold is not that far from its high. So even if you bought the all-time high in gold, you're actually not that far from it, right? So that's the reason why, for me, guys, by 2030, you can be having an extra few more zeros in your trading account or in your bank account, right? But if you're only allowing yourself to accept that, okay, I'm going to put a portion of my money aside to allow to when or if again, there's obviously no guarantees here, right? But if it does happen, for me, it's like when it does happen, then I can capitalize on this. And so instead of me trying to, scrape some pennies aside and so on and so forth, I'm getting ready for one of the what I believe is going to be one of the greatest bull markets we've ever seen. If you think the crypto market was actually big for the last couple of years, I believe the next coming mining boom, the next coming boom in the metals and the miners is going to trump that as well too. Again, guys, I am not a lover of markets. I just know when things are crashed and no one wants to see it, you buy when people are greedy, sell when people are fearful. And no one wants anything to do with the mining sector because they haven't been doing anything. That's not the talk of the public, right? What is the talk? The talk is still the stock market and still, the crypto market. Talking about the crypto market, let's give you a quick little update there when the crypto market, when it comes to good old Bitcoin. So the good old Bitcoin right now is just obviously, for the last few days, it's obviously, this is a 24-hour market basically. So it's basically done nothing here because there's been no volume coming into the Bitcoin. But overall, you can see here that we've had a high, a lower high, a lower high, and now we're just going sideways through here. So when I'm using my 52 moving average, you can see that we're still coming down, trending through here. So when the market starts to open back up again tomorrow, then we're probably likely to start to see some there could be a pretty big move happening with Bitcoin. If we start to get a really big move down here out of Bitcoin, so like a big down bar through here, then we could start to see our move back down. I see a move coming down to around about that 10,000 level there. So this overall movement through here, guys, is very, very, very bearish. And it's screaming. If we get something like this, guys, like a big down bar like this at a crypto, then there's a massive probability we're going to head down towards that 10,000 level. And by the way, if you can, it's a really good time to be looking for shorting opportunities, right? I'm just very, very fortunate that my provider allows me to short the cryptocurrencies from there. Now they give me big spreads, but it's just part of the game when it comes to the cryptocurrencies through there. And the other one is also Ethereum as well too. If I squeeze my charts up, let me just take the moving average off of this one just to keep it really simple for you guys. Right, squeeze my charts up. Look at this here, right? We're doing the same thing down, and we're just going through here. So if the Ethereum market starts to do the exact same thing, like I've talked about before, if the Ethereum market starts to do something like that, then the Ethereum target that I have, so if we get something like what I just showed with you, if I get something like this out of Ethereum, right, that's what I'll be looking for. If we get something like that out of Ethereum, then we're going to be on our way down to probably around about that $300 level. It may even break past that a lot there, but that's the next support level through there when it comes to Ethereum.